You ever had your heart broken?
One time. And that's why I am how I am today.
Well, I mean, you ain't really get nobody a second chance?
Because I just feel like everybody liked it. Because at the end, like,
what you mean everybody like what?
I got 6 brothers. I got a lot of friends. I got best friends. I got cousins. And I see how dudes act.
Right.
And like, all of them got it's a common denominator. Like, they ain't.
When she talked about all the men in her life, right? A lot of us, we think, maybe we know a lot of people. Or even we've been a few places, right? We've been in some different circles. And we use that to substitute for the rest of the world. And so she said her brothers, right? She got like 6 brothers, cousins, and friends. And she said she was raised by men, I believe, in the conversation. Here's the thing. They're not everybody. And I'm just thinking about them watching this. If they just like laughing, man, she crazy. But think about how that make you look. You got a woman now who is grown, an adult, but she's saying because of the relationship she's seen you all do. Yeah. That she cannot trust men at all. They've heard her. That's what she's saying. She said she cannot trust them. Men gonna be men at the end of the day. The people she's been around. So now you want to say she's been around famous men. Yeah. Right, we know. So we see the articles. And so that's just so sad to me that she didn't have a good male role model showing her how to love a woman properly. Right? Yeah. And so she feels like she can have that. She said she got hurt one time when she was in love, and now this is the way she moves. So it was that relationship in addition to all the ones she's seen in her circles.
In her experience, all the men that she's been around, whether it be her siblings, men, I guess, in school and all of that, those are her example of, what I guess makes a man. And mind you, she's only 24, so she only has experience with, I guess, older siblings, you would say. She has her peers, which in high school, everybody's doing stupid stuff. Everybody's doing I'm not gonna say everybody's cheating, but you're probably more likely to see that stuff amongst young people. People make mistakes. You talk about brain developing and all that stuff. That there is accuracy to all of that. But I just think, I think this is a very dark mindset to have at such a young age with such a big world of people. And I feel like what you believe really does determine like how you behave in a lot of ways. And I talked a little bit about this in the earlier part, but I just think when you have a view that men all do this, then how you're going to move in your life is, okay, I know this person, and this is where you get this. And I'm not gonna lie, like some of generations way before us would say, cheating ain't a deal breaker because this is a good, he pays the bills. He makes sure we're in a nice, heated house. They bring, food to the table, all of that.
In the community.
Yeah, all of these various different things. It's like, hey, just don't bring that near me. And she talked about some of this stuff too, where it's like, that's how they used to do it. I just think that is a very unfortunate way to still be thinking. It never was good. Like that never was justified. Men don't have, there's no excuse why any man, and we talked about this in a different video, like being a slave to your desires. Like no man should be a slave to your desires. If you choose to get married to a woman, you should be committed. If you're dating a woman, some guys, I've heard many dudes have this distorted understanding of dating where they're like, well, hey, if I'm dating you, I could still talk to other girls because we're not committed. We're not married or anything like that. But I think even if you're dating, generally speaking, you should operate in good faith where it's like building onto this relationship. And I do think you should date to marry. You can date, I guess, perhaps to get to know a person, but I'm more about friendship. I think you should be friends with a person and then date them. That's me, and it's worked for me. And everyone I've advised on it seems to appreciate it. And when they've leveraged it, not everybody does. But anyway, I just generally think this whole idea of, and I want to get your more thoughts on this too, but like, I just think this general thought that men are this way, accept it, is so dead. Like that's so dead to me, especially as a Christian. Like we're not defined by our desires. We're not defined by our sinful behavior, anything. And I don't think that men should be held to that view, even if there are a lot of men. And I will say, like, I do think, like I think she said, like, men cheat more than women. I'm like, yeah, I could believe that. Like, I don't know. There's no number, no way I can quantify that. But I would believe that, yeah, men generally cheat more than women. Like, no doubt at all. And I would say probably that you'd be hard pressed to find a woman that's dated that hasn't been cheated on. Like you probably will find a lot of women that have probably been cheated on or really maybe suspected that they've been cheated on. I agree. All of these things can be true, while at the same time still not holding the view that all men cheat. There isn't a man out there that you're going to find that won't cheat on you. What do you think about that?
I think there's a huge lack of reflection,
Yeah.
accountability, right? Say she was to go to the people in her life, right? Her brothers and things like that, and figure out the why. Like, why are you doing that? I thought you really liked that girl.
Right.
Blah, blah. You got a kid by her. You got
There is no
niece and nephew.
accountability in a lot of this.
Stuff like that, right? We like to excuse our family and act like they shouldn't actually have to be held accountable for things that they do that is wrong. Like, for me, if you know, that's your family, okay, but he's treating another woman like that. He's doing her dirty. He's cheating on her, blah, blah, blah. And you just gonna sit there and like, he gonna do what he gonna do? Like, would you want another woman to be like that to you? Like, or would you want her to have your back? First of all, I just think that's such a big deal. Like, talk to those men. These men, she said she was raised by your father.
Yeah.
I don't know, uncle, blah, blah. Like, and not that whole this grown folks business. She's grown now, okay?
Yeah.
Talk to her about that and find out the why. And see a lot of times why cycles happen, right? Not even getting deep, but man, first teacher, you know, their father, they're watching them do it and blah, blah, blah. And they see, and people just letting them do what they do. They still respect it. Okay, he got money. And so you could do the same thing. You're looking at these cycles is what I'm seeing. And you thinking that it's right. You're thinking that this is life. And so, you know, you just hate that because if the right man come along who is different, right? You are not going to be able to fully dive into that relationship and, you know, to trust him. You'll always be thinking, it's something about him. It's something, you know, I can't put my finger on it. But because you already had that preconceived notion about all men.
Yeah. And she said it was one thing. It was one guy that I guess broke her heart that, you know, made her convinced that this is just how it is. And I'd be stupid not to adjust accordingly. Now, here's the thing. If you've been done wrong in a relationship, it is in your best interest to guard your heart above all else. But I also think that, and here's what I get to say my experience. And I'm not talking about like personal, like lived out, but just in observation of relationships. Ladies, and this applies for guys too, but I'm speaking to the ladies. Like sometimes here I put my solo shot on. Y'all don't always be vetting these guys that well. And Cami will tell you, like she's vetted guys that whether it be friends or people that she's seen, you know, get in relationships. Like I've seen her spend 15 minutes to vet a guy and she could already tell you who the ex-girlfriend was. She could tell you if this person was a little bit suspect and all that stuff. Like, and it didn't take her much. And I'm like, man, you should be an investigative journalist the way you finding these things. You're finding all this information just off of public, like things that person has posted. And so what I'm getting at is a lot of times, ladies, y'all play ignorant with a guy because you like them or whatever, for whatever reason, or you're attracted to him or whatever it is. I don't know. You play stupid about all these other things and then you end up hurt. And then now all of a sudden every guy is this way. Every guy is that way. Are you really looking at the quality of guy? Like, and I don't know, GloRilla, but like, what type of guys are you really talking to like that? Like, that's a good question that I would have. Like, if you're going after just the street dudes, just the guys that are in gangs and all that stuff, that's like that, based on the type of way she does her music and stuff she talks about, if it's anything aligning with what she puts out in the world with her music, then yeah, you probably will be in trouble. Because at the end of the day, you get out what you put in. Like, if that's all you're putting out, if that's all you're about and thinking about, talking about and consuming, then you're probably going to get a lot of guys that give you that same type, of mentality.
Here's what I will say. This is the last thing. I'm not that special when it comes to the investigative work, okay? So. Other women do it too.
But it feel like it
on
though.
Social media all the time. Here's the difference. I'm not going to sit up there and turn my head if it's a person involved with one of my friends, especially my close friends. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just not just going to be like, he's just going to be doing him, or that may mean nothing, blah, blah, blah. No, if it's some serious stuff, and I have done this, I'll reach out to my friend and be like, I just want you to keep in mind this.
Yeah.
Have you looked at this? Have you asked him about this? That's what I will say. I want you to find out because you're with them and I don't know them. Okay, the first time I meet them, a lot of people like to say, so what do you think? Do you like him? Blah, blah, you think he's a good guy? I will say, from what I've seen, blah, 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 but I still don't know him. And the biggest thing I always say to all people is time will tell.
Yeah.
Because you need to be giving that relationship some time before you do some big moves and some big steps.
And then ask about previous relationships.
All the things.
Yeah, people he could lie to you, but like, why wouldn't you ask about who you were with before that? And that goes for guys too. Like, ask about previous partners, previous, you know, people that you were in relationship with. Like, that matters. That's why did your last relationship end? If you run someone away because of that question, then good riddance. But like, I think it's too
if they've been
important.
married before.
Why didn't your relationship work out? And find out why. If that person tells you they cheated, well, I don't think that necessarily means they're going to cheat on you, but you could at least apply that they were honest about that, and maybe you can at least get information. Now, maybe you don't want to be in a relationship once you find that out, but maybe you appreciate their honesty. You see that they've learned from their mistake and you want to give them a chance. At least you have that information. But I think all of that is crucial in this conversation. And we want to know what you guys think. What do you think about what she had to say? Leave a comment below. And before you head out, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.